if you are looking for this kind of clear speed and also want to kill endgame bosses in just a couple of seconds with lower than 50 Exile of investment and no battle fate or any other crazy expensive piece, then this is the build for you. So in this video I'm gonna teach you how to play with Tornado Shot these days, because Tornado Shot got nerfed a lot of times and it is not that popular in my opinion. That's what the statistics says. Unlike, you know, the Ice Shot, Lightning Arrow, those kind of bow builds. So this is the right version to play in my opinion. So after the 3.15 nerfs, lots of builds became more expensive, but this is one of those builds that is actually not crazy expensive, but you need some own, you know, crafting. You need to do your own crafting on some of the pieces. So it may maybe take some time for you to finish your gear, but you can just start playing with this build even without full set. So let's just start explaining what I mean by that. So I'm gonna just explain the build first. Then if the clips aren't done, I will just let you watch the clips. Everything is obviously in path of building, so that's why I'm not gonna explain all the gems, those kind of stuff, so I don't want to make the video super long. So first of all, this is an Eternity Shroud build. That's what I meant by full set, because what does this item do? Gain elemental damage as extra cast damage per Shaper item equipped. So the items need to be Shaper influenced. That's the star, you know, galaxy looking background on the items. So you can just do most items in the game as Shaper influenced. You can also craft them on your own. So we are going to talk about those while explaining the gear. And hits ignore enemy monster chaos resistance if all equipped items are Shaper items. That's what I meant by full set. So you don't need that to start the build. If you maybe skipped, couldn't craft one of your pieces, you can just still play the build, but you will just miss that penetration, which is obviously needed to kill endgame bosses faster, because penetration mostly works for bosses. But obviously you can just start playing without that. I also have a clip with a Tabula Rasa, I believe. If I haven't deleted that, I will also put that maybe right now. So yeah, that's pretty much it about this item. So that's why you need to get all your items as Shaper based, because our two items are unique. That's the most problem that you are gonna have while trying to craft or maybe buy those pieces. But other items are just ridiculously easy to craft. I will also explain how to do that, because Eternal Shroud isn't played that much over the couple of years, because it requires self-craft and most people think that it is very hard or whatever. That's why it is hard to buy or find items on the market. That's why you need to craft your own items. But we are not using any harvest craft, any ridiculous multi-crafts or exalt slams, whatever. We are not doing any of those. We will just use some cheap crafting methods, so you can just start this build. You will in the end understand that this is a very easy to build character and ridiculously powerful, because Eternal Shroud is actually broken. That is confirmed by Mark GGG 2 years ago, I believe, in the Exile con, before all the COVID shit happened, you know. Because it actually calculates the convergence extra damages twice, and also the conversion mechanic is getting reworked in POE 2. So that's why Eternal Shroud is simply broken, and it is gonna probably get fixed in POE 2. So yeah, this is the right time to play these kind of builds. So let's just explain rest of the items and how to also craft them. So main weapon, Doomfletch Prism. Normally you want flat physical, so all those damage is gonna get as extra each element, physical damage as extra each element. So meaning that you can actually hit with 3 different elements: lightning, cold and fire. That's why you need to get some flat physical damage. Because of that, we are also using Bloodthirst support, which will actually provide you lots of flat physical while you are on low life. That's why we are also using Petrified Blood, which also makes the character tankier. Because these kind of builds, Deadeye builds, do not have much mitigation. So having actually Petrified Blood lets you get some mitigation. Yeah, that's pretty much it. You just want to stack flat physical, that's number 1. But you can also get flat cold, fire, lightning. They also work, but a decent amount of flat physical is actually better. So that's why we are gonna focus on those on our jewelry. So for this bow, this is the only bow that is a royal bow actually. So if you just use Orb of Chance, Scouring, until you get a Doomfletch on a royal bow with Shaper influence. Obviously, you can just get this bow guaranteed with enough tries. You can also use the Trash to Treasure prophecy, which is actually very cheap this league, no idea why. Under 4 exalt the last time I checked. That is a normally very expensive prophecy, which is like 10 exalt maybe, or maybe like 9 exalt, I'm not really sure. But yeah, it is normally the double the price on the previous leagues, but right now it is ridiculously cheap. So you can just pay for that prophecy if you want, and bam, with only one click you can get your Doomfletch bow ready. But obviously the first bow is going to be a Doomfletch, then you need to use the prophecy to upgrade it to Doomfletch's Prism, so don't forget that. Everything is on the screen, or just the Wikipedia if you need any further assistance. So eventually you will have a Doomfletch Prism with Shaper influenced, and that's pretty much it. The Quiver, because Shaper bases already have the bow attacks, fire and additional arrow, and that's the 90% of the bow builds are using those kind of quivers. It is not hard to find or craft these kind of quivers. So first of all, obviously spike point quivers, that's the best for an archer. Do not get penetrating quivers, that is what I am always telling, because that will simply lower your clear speed, because penetration comes first before chain, those kind of stuff. So this will just destroy all your chain, fork, whatever you are using. That's why you will lose your clear speed if you have a penetration on your gear, and that's the only place to get on the quiver. That's why we are not using penetrating quiver at all. So a spike point quiver with bow attacks, fire and additional arrow. Life crit multiplier is obviously the best choice. After that, if you have the budget, start adding attack speed and elemental damage with attacks. If you can also find a quiver with good flat physical, I believe there is also a broadside quiver base type that also provides physical damage to attacks. Maybe you can also go and buy those if they are cheaper, or maybe they are better. Alright, just get a good quiver that provides these kind of stats. So helmet, this is the most expensive and hard to craft piece. That's why if you skip this, just use a normal Asenat until you can craft or buy whatever with a Shaper influenced. It is fine, just stick to maps. Obviously you can also kill the bosses, but you will miss that penetration if you don't have a full set. So yeah, this is the hardest piece and probably the most expensive one, because you will probably spend more. But it is obviously RNG based, maybe you will get it in a couple of tries, the Asenat chant. So let's just explain it. Again, Orb of Chancing obviously, or just use Trash to Treasure prophecy, but actually there are two base types on Iron Circlets. So you don't have a 100% chance to get this helmet while trying to use Orb of Chances or Trash to Treasure prophecies, unlike the Doomfletch bow. So that's why, depending on your budget, just use Orb of Chances, or if you want to burn your currency, just use Trash to Treasures. But again, there is another helmet on Iron Circlets. But once you get your Shaper helmet ready, Asenat Mark, actually the first one, you then again need to use a prophecy. This is another fated item like the Doomfletch Prism. So just upgrade the quiver. Well, this is helmet, not quiver. Just upgrade the helmet to Asenat chant and your helmet is ready. But again, we are not done. That's what I said. That's why I said that this is actually the most expensive piece. After that, you obviously, if you want to min-max the build, if you want to feel the same that I did while playing this build, the clear speed, the DPS, that's why you also need a helmet enchant with Tornado Shot, fires an additional secondary projectile, so you can have more projectiles going. So the enchant also will provide a lot of DPS, because Tornado Shot just shoots lots of projectiles and it can actually overlap on bosses. So this is a skill that actually shotguns have a shotgun effect. Most skills cannot do this because it got fixed many years ago, but Tornado Shot can still shotgun, because that is what makes Tornado Shot, alright? Otherwise the skill will be probably shit, so that's why it can actually shotgun. That's why additional projectile, secondary projectile helps, because Tornado Shot is a skill that actually shoots little projectiles once it explodes, or whatever it is called. That secondary projectile actually means that this is not additional arrow. This is special to Tornado Shot. We are also using a Watcher's Eye with life on hit vitality modifier. So because we are shooting lots of arrows plus lots of secondary projectiles, it is very easy to heal your character with life on hit effects. So if you got hit, you will just go full HP in a second easily thanks to this Watcher's Eye. So in the end, this helm enchant is very important, provides both DPS and healing. So make sure that maybe you buy a service from the Forbidden Discord, the Forbidden Trove Discord, because if you maybe don't want to do labyrinths, so make sure that you pay the guy whatever the price is and get yourself an enchant on this helmet. So make sure that you min-max your character if you want to just destroy everything. So gloves, you can just craft this with essences. I'm gonna just explain those. So first of all, for additional DPS, gripped gloves, again shaper influenced. Just buy a gloves. If there are any gloves on the market, just go and buy it. But if there is not much stuff on the market, because again, for the rare pieces, so right now we don't have any more uniques. Everything else is gonna be rare, because shaper items, most people do not even craft this because Eternal Shroud builds aren't played that much these days. That's why if just search for anything that I'm gonna explain right now after this part, any rare. If it doesn't exist on the market, just start crafting, alright? So first of all, gloves. Obviously we want life, resistances, and attack speed, or maybe if you can get accuracy, that also works. So you can use any of these essences that you are seeing on the screen to put maybe life, a guaranteed life, and focus on the rest, or put resist if you need a specific resist, those kind of stuff. So just check the essences, and that is how you are gonna craft. Very easy. It won't even cost you maybe 1 exile, maybe 2 exile, let's say, if you are not unlucky, alright? Very easy to craft and gets the job done. This was my gloves. Boots, again, same thing. There are actually lots of shaper boots results on the market, because people craft them for cooldown recovery mostly, but if they just cannot get cooldown recovery and find something else, they just put it on the market. This is actually something that I bought for like 50 chaos or maybe 60 chaos, I'm not sure, because there is nothing special on these boots actually. Life, resistances, movement speed, that's it. Again, there are gonna be some essences on the screen. If you cannot find any good boots, just go and craft your own boots. Very easy. My boots don't even have enchant. If you want to min-max, you can put penetration enchant, because we are dealing both elemental and both chaos damage. So elemental penetration still works for the build, so you can get that. Or if you want to map mostly with this character, which I did. This was a mostly mapper character, but killed lots of bosses, and the clips are gonna be in this video. Obviously, Deathless, Maven, Uber Elder, those kind of bosses. Obviously, if you want to map mostly, just put attack speed enchant. So you have 2 enchant choices in the end. Amulet. We want flat physical, that is number 1. So you can use the Essence of Contempt to get a very good roll if you want to craft your own amulet. Global crit multiplier, because this is a crit build. You can use Essence of Scorn if you want that. And life, resist, that's pretty much it. For the base type, you will probably need some intelligence. That's why something like Onyx Amulet or maybe Lapis Amulet, whatever you need for attributes. So make sure that your amulet provides some intelligence if you still need that. So again, it's a shaper influenced item. So you can just craft this kind of amulet with these essences you are seeing on the screen. That's pretty much it. Rings. So first of all, if you can cap your resistances, steel rings are your best choice, because they provide lots of physical damage to attacks, which are gonna get as extra for each element thanks to Doomfletch Prism Bow. That's why steel rings with shaper influenced are the things that you want to craft. Again, Essence of Contempt, that is what I recommend you, because you cannot use any resistance essences, because that doesn't exist for rings. That's why we are gonna craft these with Essence of Contempt. Lots of physical damage to attacks. You don't want to miss any DPS at all. So while trying for these, try to get obviously resistances if you still need them, life, or an open prefix final, finally an open prefix, so you can craft that life, because life obviously provides tankiness for this character, and also because of Bloodthirst support, our life also provides physical damage thanks to Bloodthirst support. Yeah, that's why your rings must have resistances, life, physical damage to attacks from the Essence of Contempt, obviously. And if you are lucky, or if you have an open prefix, if you got the life on its own, elemental damage to attacks, that is also a very good stat. And one final thing, because it is on my ring right now, that's why I will explain it right now. aspect of the cat. So this is a suffix that you need to craft from menagerie. Just buy the Farul beast, Farul first of the plains. Just buy that tiger and craft it on one of your gears. Suffix. It doesn't have to be a ring. It doesn't have to be an amulet. Just craft it on one of your rare piece. Alright, that's it. Because there are not much to reserve. Because we are using Petrified Blood, Herald of Ice for clear, Herald of Purity for physical damage, Precision. So that's why I had only a little mana left. That's why I picked Aspect of Cat, because it will provide different buffs depending on what you have, because it has 2 different buffs that cycles between. So you can get attack speed, I believe, crit chance, and make sure that you craft that on one of your pieces. It can be a ring, alright, in the end. And rest, the final piece actually, a belt. So first of all, if you want also an Abyss Jewel to increase your DPS even more, obviously get a Stygian Vice. The base maybe is a little expensive, I'm not sure about the price right now, but it's not gonna be something like 5 chaos because it is a Stygian Vice, so you will just spend a little for the base. After that, so for this I actually used fossils. I believe it is more efficient. So the combination that you want to use, Pristine plus Prismatic on a 2-socket resonator, that's it. Because Pristine will let you get more life, more likely to get life, let's say, and Prismatic meaning that more elemental, which will mean resistances, elemental damage with attacks, and also elemental damage. That is also something that exists. I actually found that a couple of times, but they were bad belts, and in the end I got this with some decent resistance and I decided to use this. So there is actually an elemental damage affix that exists on Shaper bases, and I believe you can also get that plus elemental damage with attacks at the same time. I believe that happened, so if you can maybe get that, you will even have more DPS compared to me. And that's it, that's how you craft the belt. So the guide is actually almost finished, so I explained everything, and it is easy, right guys? You know, this is not hard. So the only thing that will make you, struggle a little bit is the helmet, because there are 2 different base types, plus you also want to pay for an enchant and a service provider that does labyrinth. So that's why the helmet is going to be the most expensive piece. I haven't even used the Battle Fate, because I paid this build mostly for mapping. So Battle Fate does nothing for an archer build in my opinion while mapping, because you just kill everything from like 40 meters away. So a Battle Fate doesn't even work. But if you want to kill the bosses faster, obviously a Battle Fate in the end will provide more DPS. And final thing, I haven't even get point blank on the talent tree. So if you also can get that, just imagine the DPS, alright? A Battle Fate plus a point blank, you will even kill the bosses faster compared to me. That's pretty much it. I won't explain some of the gems, those kind of stuff. I don't want to make the video any longer because it is very easy to follow. Just check Path of Building, the links are in the description. Thanks for watching. There are lots of other guides coming soon, because I have prepared lots of builds in the last 2 weeks, and this week I will just unleash everything at once. So lots of guides are coming. Don't forget to subscribe, like, maybe join my Discord. Or if you are feeling generous, you can just support me on Patreon for only like a couple of dollars, the cheapest packages. And I will see you next time. Bye bye.
Fire, rot, spoil, and fester.
Exile, do something! My mana is gone.
Gaze into the abyss.
contorts. Sorry.
My irritation is growing. Death will not be an escape.